Hello everybody, this is Danny from Deep South Homestead. We're back out here in the garden today. And guys, at Deep South Homestead, we give you the good, the bad, the ugly, the truth about homesteading, because a lot of places and a lot of channels only present only the good stuff. Well, we're not that way. We're going to be honest with you. Today, I always tell y'all I'm going to start trying to give you the date. Today is May the 5th. As of last November, we got our onions in from Dixondale, and we planted them about mid-November, more toward the end of November, I believe it was, middle to end. And what we do every year, we generally have some decent crops of onions, but this year, guys, it's not good. We're going to get some onions. We're not going to get a lot of onions, because what happened was, right when our onions was really kicking off and it started to get right at the time of the year for them to really start growing, they were really popping up looking good. We had 12 to 15 leaves per plant. The layers were really starting to form on the onions. What happened was we got 3 days of temperatures way below freezing, and it did not warm up. And the onions actually died all the way back. We thought we were going to lose them completely, but they popped back out. And what didn't rot come back and started trying to grow. But guys, it's time for us to take them out. They're looking really, really bad. A lot of them have already died and fell over, and I pulled them and went out. Majority of them's only about 1 to 1.5 inches in diameter. Some's not even that big. And we have we got 3 different varieties here that I'm going to talk about first. One is the yellow granix. Yellow granix actually did not hardly do anything at all. The other one is the 1015 Sweet Texas Onion. It done a little better, but not good. And it's not the onion's fault. It's not Dixondale's fault. It's the weather. We've got the red onions on the other end up there that we got from Dixondale's. They didn't make any bulbs at all. They're just little, maybe 1-inch bulbs on them. And guys, it's nothing against the company, and it's nothing against the variety of onions. It's all about weather and climate change. This freak freezes came in here right at the wrong time. We talked about that on some of our other videos. If you go back and look, it got rid of a lot of our fruits on our fruit trees. It killed our potatoes back. We had to chop all them back. I mean, guys, it really devastated us here at Deep South Homestead. Even my English peas in the background, it knocked them back. But thank God they're beginning to pull out. We're getting a few off of them. Not what we normally would have, but we are getting some from them. But the onions, the red candies up yonder, I specifically ordered those seeds for this area because people talked about how the red candies did. I planted the seeds in my greenhouse. They came up, made little onions. I transplanted little onions from there to the garden. And guys, if you look at them, they're beautiful green onions. If you love green onions, they are perfect. But they have no bulbs on them whatsoever. It's 0 bulbs on them. They're just a big green onion sticking up out of the ground. Matter of fact, most of them have already went to seed, and the seed has done fell off on the ground, and they're just green onions now. I'm not that familiar with the candy onions, the red candy, but my understanding was in the Deep South, they were making some really big, nice onion bulbs. So that didn't work out for us. I probably won't do that again. But we will probably still do the Texas Granix and the 1015 Sweets. We'll probably still do them in the future because it wasn't the onion's fault. It was the weather. So guys, we're going to start pulling them up because I got to have this ground to plant in. And I want to get them out of here because we've got 3 days of extreme hot weather coming. Today is actually almost chilly out here. We're in the high 50s and the wind's blowing. So we're going to get these up, get them on the porch, let them be drying for the next 3 days because we've got 6 days of just solid rain coming. And guys, I mean, I don't know. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull one of them up. And I want you to look at it. It's really wet. The leaves have all just started, they're just dying. The top is all motley looking, like it's trying to disease up. This up here is dying off. It's not good. There's been so much rain, and now the temperature is turning off extremely hot. And these onions are wet on the outside. If you look, the skins are all just wet and starting to rot. We want to try to get them out and let them dry for a couple of days. And look at that. You know, just no good, really. But we get a little 1.5 inch, maybe 2 inch bulb onion. You know, we'll be able to put some in the freezer and keep them to use all year, but it's nothing what we were expecting. Last year, we had the big old onions last year. We had a good year. And this is what I'm trying to tell you guys. It's not always good. If we were depending on these for our life, and there was no way we could get any other kind of onions for the rest of the year, we'd just be out of luck. Because we wouldn't have any. And what if we couldn't buy any more sets? You know, we'd just be screwed. Onions would be over for us. We have to be doing the multiplying onions that I have here, the Egyptian onions here, the walking onions we have here. We would just be eating green onions. We would have no bulb onions to be eaten at all. But we're thankful that we're being able to get some bulb onions out of it. And it doesn't matter if it's just a 1/2 inch bulb or a 1 inch bulb. We're still going to clean it, cut it up, put it in the freezer because we don't believe in wasting anything. So without talking any further, I'm going to get busy and we're going to see if we can't get these onions out of the ground and get this ground prepared for planting something else. So thank you guys from Deep South Homestead. All right, we're in the greenhouse now. We're going to use the greenhouse as our drying room for our onions. It's an experiment. We've not done it in here before. We usually do it on a table out on the porch. But the temperature in here runs around 100 to 120 degrees on average. So we're thinking we can do it a lot faster in here than we can just by leaving it out on the porch. And you can see the greenhouse right now is 70 degrees. It is 8:30 in the morning. So there's still a lot of warmth in here, and we're pretty much finished with anything in the pots other than some aloe vera that Wanda will probably be selling. Some of the babies that's come off of the aloe vera back there. We have one pineapple right here left behind this here. We'll show it to you in a minute. It's actually growing pretty well. I don't think we're going to fool with it. I think we're going to just experiment with this pineapple to see how it does in heat, because we took all the other pineapples outside and we left this one in the pot in here. The moringa's doing very well in the greenhouse. So we're going to take you down through here, and I'm going to kind of give you a look at what we have and tell you a little bit about what we're going to try to do. Okay guys, the first onions we're going to show you are the yellow granics. Now Wanda and I have been doing a little bit of talking about this morning. Some of our yellow granics, they made a little 2-inch bulb. I mean, they're nothing to brag about, but they're okay. We'll be cutting those up, putting them in the freezer. But these that are like this here, the little small ones about 1 inch in diameter, what we're going to do is we're talking about just saving those and making what we call pearl onions out of them and putting them up that way. As you can see in the front and the back, we have onions laid both ways. None of them are very large. A couple of 2-inch ones like this here. You know, most of them are 1 inch in diameter, 3/4 down through here. So you can see we're going to have a lot of the pearl onions on the yellow granics. Now, The yellow granics seem to have done better through the cold than the other varieties. Now here are some yellow granics that I pulled before the rain come 3 days ago. Just out of curiosity, I went out there and pulled some of them up, and they've already started the drying process, so it looks like they're going to work out really well. We'll be able to start putting these up pretty soon because they don't have much green left on them. But now as we get down here, this red variety that we were showing you up here, this is a Southern Belle. Now they done okay. There's not a lot of them that made it. We planted, I think we planted 100 and something of them, and there's probably close to 50 or 75 here that actually withstood the freeze, and I think we'll be able to get some out of it. We love these because they're red in color. They have more anthocyanins in them than the others do, so they're probably a lot healthier for you. And we love it for color in our food anyway, putting the red in there. Now what you see right here is the 1015 sweets. You can't hardly see it, it's off of the ticket there, but it's 1015 sweet onions. Guy, out of 100 and something onions, this is all that made it on them. They did not handle the freeze at all very well, and what made it, a few of them turned out to be 1.5, 2 inch bulbs, but a majority of them is just a little small bulbs. We'll just make those like the little pearl onions too, but this is all that made it, you know, out of the freeze. So I know now that the 1015s cannot handle extreme cold and come back and make a comeback. So we will probably not do this variety anymore with the grand solar minimum coming in and it going to be colder longer. We're probably going to stick with just the yellow granics or the Southern Belle Reds over here. Now in the greenhouse, we do have Malabar Spinach still growing, and we have seed going on it for replanting. We do save seeds. We do sell seeds for the Malabar Spinach, and we have them in here for that purpose. You can see there's an Aloe Vera coming up down in the pot right here, so we do have some babies still coming up. And here are our big Aloe Vera plants with babies coming up all in them down in there. And Wanda usually sells the baby Aloe Veras on our Etsy store. If you want to know what that is, that's deepsouthhomestead.etsy.com. These are the yellow 4 o'clocks. We do save the seed from them because a lot of people like the yellow 4 o'clocks for a flower. So they have them also. And of course, these are some little pepper plants that didn't do too good. We usually just leave them in here. If they make it, they make it. We'll put them in the garden. And if not, but the pineapple I was telling you about, here it is. This is one of our little pineapples growing in the greenhouse here. It seems like it's doing okay, and even though it's 100-something degrees in here, we're going to leave this one. We're going to keep it watered and keep it fertilized and just see how it does. And behind it, in here, we have Stevia growing. It'll probably be coming out here pretty soon because it looks like it's doing pretty well also, but we need to get it out of the greenhouse and get it in some pots out in the herb gardens. This is Wanda's patio tomato plant. It's still growing here in the greenhouse. It probably is not going to last much longer in this heat in here and bare. But we've left it in here because we didn't figure it would make many more. And Wanda gets a few tomatoes every now and then to eat in her salads off of it. This is a little bit about our onion harvest here at Deep South Homestead, showing you how we're drying them, which one's done the best, which one's done what through this cold weather that we had. Kind of give you an idea if you live a little further north, maybe, or if you live in our zone, 8B. Or 8A, it's changing drastically. We might be 7B next year, who knows. But let you know which varieties did best for us through the cold weather and how we're actually drying them, how we're going to be putting them up in the freezer. We will be freezing all of these. We will not be canning any of them or anything like that. So I want to just take you on that part of the journey and show you the good, the bad, and the ugly at Deep South Homestead. So thank you guys from Deep South Homestead.